Mikayla, I've got your poster up right here, all sized up and ready to go. All right, let's go take a look. So I've got a few comments here. Now, I think one of the things that is really obvious is the fact that you placed images here and here. And if you take a look at the requirements, there is no images allowed on the front of the poster. All meaning should be created typographically. Now, we are allowed to use illustrative techniques as long as they're incorporated into the typography. Okay, that's really, really important. And if you go to the course announcements, if you take a look at those announcements where I deconstructed the examples of previous assignments, I described to a really high degree how to create meaning based on using type as image or incorporating the illustrative technique right into the typography, as opposed to trying to establish a standalone photograph or a standalone illustration. Do you see what I'm saying? Again, by placing this image here, you're creating meaning based on photography, not typography. Okay. Now, a great example here, and this of course won't work in this situation, but if he had an I or I can't pronounce this name, Subramanian Chandriskalar. It's so hard to say. Anyways, if there was an I in his name, we could create this meaning by, see this little starburst right here? If there were an I in his name, we could take that starburst and use it. If you illustrated it, though, you can't use a photograph, but use it as the tittle, the dot over the I, right? And that would be a great example of how we can incorporate meaning typographically, or in other words, use type as image, right? We're not seeing that here. That's what we're after. Right now, I think this typeface, this scripted typeface, it's really difficult to read, and his name is really super difficult to read and pronounce. For that reason, I do not recommend a decorative typeface or a scripted typeface. I would present this in a geometric sans serif, something maybe mid-century, Gill Sans, Universe, Helvetica. It's really a difficult name. So the simpler the typeface, the easier it will be to read the typeface. And then you can incorporate any kind of meaning illustratively into that typeface. I also noticed that you've got all caps here. Now, all cap in the subhead, all caps are synonymous with raising your voice, and a lot of people think all caps is synonymous with yelling. We don't want to appear like we're getting yelled at here, so I do not recommend this in all caps. I also recommend, now as this stands right now, could be considered a decorative typeface, and this could be considered a decorative typeface too. And I say that because of the shape of the O's and the swashes here. So as we have learned, we don't want to mix decorative typefaces. Okay, so that's something else to keep in mind. No images on the front of the poster, remember. Okay, so my last comment is this, is that basically what you have here is center alignment. Now, I've said this several times during week 2, but I just want to kind of reiterate the importance of not using center alignment while you're studying typography. A lot of designers like and enjoy using center alignment. I'm not one of them. I believe in the power of negative space. Center alignment does not allow you to activate the negative space and use negative space as a design element. Center alignment forces the negative space just to be leftover space. And the reason I say that is because typically center alignment creates this symmetry around the typeface. So the negative space is just what it is. It's leftover space, as opposed to activating that negative space by some sort of alternate layout other than centered alignment, some sort of other alignment other than centered. Flush left, rag right, for instance, works beautifully to activate negative space. So my recommendation is to try to create meaning by incorporating illustration into type, and then also watch your alignment and watch your typeface choices. No imagery on the front of the poster other than working some sort of illustrative technique into the typography. Okay, those are my recommendations. If you have any questions at all, please let me know. Thank you very much.